If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, 2 or 3. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, 2 or 3. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, 2 or 3.
My God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Our God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Yeah, every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
everyone.
Hi, Brian.
Okay, so about 2 years after crossing the Red Sea, the Israelites had finally made it to the very edge of Canaan, the land that God promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God told their leader Moses,
"Send some men to check out the land of Canaan. I am giving it to the Israelites. Send one leader from each of Israel's tribes."
So Moses called a leader from each of the 12 tribes.
Shammua, Shaphat, Caleb, Igal, Joshua, Palti, Gadiel, Gadi, Amiel, Sethur, Nabi, and Juel.
So once the gang was all together, Moses laid out a super secret spy mission for these guys.
I want you to see what Canaan is like. Are there a lot of people or just a few? Are they strong or weak? Do their towns have high walls? Oh, and study the land. Is the soil rich or poor? Are there trees? Bring back some of the food that grows there if you can.
So just like that, these 12 men snuck into Canaan just as God had instructed. Now, for about 6 weeks, they traveled the length of the country and saw the places where Abraham and his family had lived hundreds of years before. On their return journey, the spies cut a bunch of grapes so ginormous it had to be carried on a pole between 2 men. You can bet that when they showed up in the Israelite camp at the end of 40 days, it made a pretty big stir. At first, the spies gave a glowing report.
Canaan is super awesome!
The land is filled with so many good things. It's practically flowing with milk and honey.
Yeah, check out these grapes.
But we can never go there.
The people who live there are powerful.
Their cities have high walls.
The people are like giants!
Even though the spies had seen many good things, they were stuck on their fears. Only Joshua and Caleb were brave enough to speak up.
We should go up and take the land. We can certainly do it.
No way. They're stronger than we are.
They're so ginormous that we look like crickets to them.
The Israelites chose to listen to fear. They went into complete panic mode, convinced they would be destroyed. They even begged to go back to Egypt. Joshua and Caleb tried to speak to them.
The land is very good. If the Lord is pleased with us, He'll lead us there. He will give it to us. But we've got to obey Him.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the people in the land. The Lord is with us.
Instead of listening to Joshua and Caleb, the Israelites talked about killing them. But in the midst of all this chaos, the glory of God appeared at the tent of meeting. God spoke to Moses.
How long will they refuse to believe in me?
Moses begged God to have mercy on the Israelites.
Lord, your love is great. Forgive the sin of these people, just as you've done so many times already. I have forgiven them, just as you asked. But not one of these people will see the land I promised to give them. But my servant Caleb has a different spirit. He follows me with his whole heart, so I will bring him into the land.
Joshua was also allowed to enter the land. God did forgive the Israelites for turning away again, but there were big consequences. Instead of forging ahead into Canaan, the Israelites ended up wandering and stuck in the wilderness for almost 40 years. Now, by that time, only Joshua and Caleb were still living to lead the new generation, their children, into Canaan. And fast forward, they did. At the end of 40 years, Joshua led the Israelites into the promised land. And right away, they came up to the walled city of Jericho. But with God's help, they faced their fears, and those impossibly strong walls came tumbling down. But that's another story for another day.
So here's the thing. You can do what you should even when others are afraid.